What's up, everyone? This is Marie Larsen, and you are listening to The Audio Entrepreneur. I've spent the last year and a half doing podcasts and content creation for some of the fastest growing entrepreneurs today. Their strategies and tips have been life-changing once I took action. So I decided to take my audio industry to the next level by building a 7-figure company that teaches people how to create, strategize, and repurpose their content like a pro. The question so many people are wondering is, how is she going to do it? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me as I explain marketing strategies to grow my online business. My name is Marie Larsen, and welcome to The Audio Entrepreneur. I love that intro music every time. Anyway, guys, what's up? So glad that you are back in here with me today. I wanted to chat today a little bit about an experience I had to go about and change my business. Now, this principle literally changed my business overnight, and it's something that I'm sure will help you guys as well. So when I got started with my business, I thought that I knew what my clients would be needing, meaning I knew I would build out these amazing podcasts. I would build out their cultures. There was a lot of people moving into their Facebook groups. I would discuss, and then in the end, I would discuss monetizing with them, right? And I would soon discover that my client still wouldn't be happy, right? After I'd done all this work, building out podcasts, building out their cultures, meaning their followings were strong and everything. After doing all of this work, I would stop and I'd ask my client, and they would look at me and say things like, Marie, all I want from this podcast is to get my voice out there, right? And my heart dropped at that moment because I realized that I had been busting my butt over something that my client didn't even want, right? No matter how much I had done, even though I was thinking, right, everything in my power that I was doing was to make them successful, meaning I'd put amazing products together for them. And when I would sit down with them, I would just ask them what they were expecting from this podcast. And after a while, I was realizing that a lot of people were just wanting to get their voice out there. Even though I had done all this extra work, I realized that I had put expectations on myself rather than ask them what they wanted. Meaning, as I said, I seriously had busted my butt over working like crazy to make these people successful in the aspect of what I thought would make them successful, right? I always thought that I knew what my clients would be needing. And so I want to ask you, how are you addressing your onboarding clients, right? How are you asking them what is important for them to see in a successful business? Oftentimes, I would push them to a point of success that I'd put on them rather than ask them what they thought was successful, right? Hopefully you guys are understanding what I'm saying, but have you ever been guilty of doing this with your clients, right? So I made a goal to sit down and ask them with our first conversation what their point of view of success would be by working with me. So I'd sit down, and I do this with any onboarding client now, that before I will even stop and say, yes, I will work with you, I ask them what their viewpoint of success will be if we work together. And you know what? It changed my business literally overnight as I was onboarding a ton of clients. Because at first I was really pushing out what I wanted them to see as far as success, telling them that some of my clients are making X amount of money with me at this point on a weekly basis. And although that's very flashy and very exciting for a lot of people, that's actually not their main end goal with you as they are getting started. And so I began to understand my market better by learning how to put offers out there for them, just by understanding them more fully, right? The power of creating a really, really good and irresistible offer comes when you fully understand your target market and what their viewpoint of success is. As soon as I sat down and I started understanding what these people were trying to accomplish by working together, then that's when I started to understand what my role was with them. So I wouldn't go through and bust my butt like crazy over all of these different things that I thought, oh man, they're going to love how I repurpose content like this, or they're going to love how I can put together, wave files they're going to love how I do all of these different things. They're going to love that. I mean, they have no idea that, or we have no idea that that's not their true intention with certain things by working with us. So by sitting down and creating some sort of understanding as you are beginning to work with these people and redefine with each other what success looks like for them, then you will become more successful and better serving your customers and over delivering in a way that they're actually going to appreciate, right? In a way that is actually going to be enticing, in a way that's actually going to be exciting, and they're going to feel like you're over delivering to them because you stopped and you understood what success meant to them. As I have gone through and studied out just kind of more of my client base and what people are wanting, I have started to understand, actually, so-and-so, this client doesn't really like it when I put together content calendars, or this client doesn't like it when I go through and repurpose in this way. And as I've gone through and figured that out, I have found that I'm saving myself a whole heck of a lot of time, effort, and headache if I just stopped and I were to listen to them. You know what I mean? Yeah, sure, I still got frozen yogurt, but it's not what I was wanting. And, I mean, I'm giving the example because, guys, I'm a huge fanatic when it comes to ice cream. But I have learned that it's so much more important to sit down and figure out what the customer is really looking for rather than try to give them something that they don't want, even though you're giving them the same product, right? I'm still giving people podcasts. I'm still helping them repurpose. I'm still helping them go about that. And if I sit and I actually figure out what these people are actually wanting, right? That they actually want coconut ice cream with, gummy bears on top of it rather than chocolate ice cream and nuts, right? If I sit down and I actually figure out what specifically people are yearning for and looking for, then they're going to be so much happier leaving my shop, leaving my ice cream shop, for example. If I can stop and I can figure that out further in advance, and really figure out that this is the correct way that we should be going about and treating not only our clients, but our future lead generation or anything that would interact in some sort of way, even with client base that it doesn't even work out with. If you can over deliver to people like crazy, then that's fantastic. But you need to know how you're supposed to over deliver to someone, right? And it's as simple as sitting down and asking someone a question, right? So for your future onboarding, I would highly encourage that as you're going about and creating your desired client, right? And you're figuring out what your specific market is and what is your dream client, that you go through and you ask these clients as you're onboarding with them, as you're trying to figure out if you guys are going to be a good match, that you stop and you ask them like crazy what their definition of success would look like as they work with you. And by doing that, you are creating not only trust, but you're caring for them, you're being kind, but you're creating that trust that's you're showing that you care about how your partnership is going to turn out with them in the end. And it's been something that as I've continually gone through and figured this out, it has literally changed my business overnight. It was a hard lesson for me to learn. As I told you guys, I have over-delivered to people like crazy, and in the end, they're still not happy with certain things that I'm doing, that my team's doing, and in the end, I had to stop and recognize that they are looking for an opportunity to jump in and say, hey, actually, Marie, I would like it if X, Y, and Z was done this way, but they don't know that that's what they want, right? So if we can go through and we can really push these out, push out success as one of the first topics that we're going to talk about, then we're going to know exactly what we need to go through to make these people successful. I just got off the phone with someone that I was onboarding just recently, and as I was going through and I was onboarding with them, I stopped and I got to the end of it. I was about to hang up and I said, wait, guys, actually, will you let me know what is your definition of success in working with me? Because I had told them all the things that I could do and repurpose and push out their podcasts and how we could go about and monetize. And I went through and I explained all of these different things. But in the end, I said, what is your definition of success? And they said, actually, Marie, right now, we just want to get loud and not sell through the podcast right now. And I said, that's awesome. I'm so glad that I asked that. And just because I asked that one little thing, that one little question, I now know what I do not need to be spending my time on as soon as I onboard them fully, right? I know that I don't need to go about and monetize like crazy because right now they just want lead gen, right? And so if we can go about and do the same thing with the rest of our clients, then we're going to know how to better serve them and get information to them to really build out their stuff and not waste our own time. There is nothing worse than wasting your time on something that people actually don't appreciate in the end, right? That they don't want. And so in this next little bit, as you guys are onboarding your clients, if you will reach out to me on my Facebook group, Profitable Podcasting Strategies for Entrepreneurs, and let me know how success and defining success with your client base has been helpful for you. If you can go about and do that, that would be awesome. I love to hear how people are going about and doing that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya.
Boom! Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate and subscribe. Do you have questions for me? Go to the Facebook group, Profitable Podcasting Strategies for Entrepreneurs, and I'll be sure to do an episode to answer your next question. Again, guys, my name is Larsen, and this is The Audio Entrepreneur.